Hi, this is Anil and welcome to the video tutorial for the Learning Guide on C++ programming. So in this tutorial we're going to learn about some built-in predefined macros in C++. So in C++ we have the built-in macros like the line, to underscore, line, then to underscore, and then we have file, and then we have date, and then we have time, and then we have another one called stdc, and another one is c plus plus. All right, so now we're gonna see what these predefined macros are gonna do and also how to use them in our program. All right, so the first thing is about the line macro. So this line macro is gonna contain the current line number of the file. So here, just for the demonstration purpose, I'm gonna use a cout, and I'm just gonna say current line is, and then we're just gonna use our line macro. So it's gonna be to underscore, and then line in caps, and then to underscore, and then I'm just gonna end this line. All right. Now I'm just gonna save this, and I'm gonna build and run this. Now you guys can see current line is 7. So here we have defined this in the 7th line, and that's why we get that. So if I copy this and paste it in let's say 11th line, and if I build and run this, current line is 7 and current line is 11. So this line macro is going to contain the line number, and then we have another macro called file. I'm just gonna copy and paste it here, and this file macro is gonna contain the file name of the current source file. So here I'm just gonna change this one to file, and here we need to write underscore underscore file in capitals, and then two underscores. That's it. We're just gonna build and run this, and you guys can see current file is with the full path, F C++ programming, predefined macro names, and main.cpp. And the next predefined macro that we're gonna see is the date. This date macro contains the string form of the month, day, and year, that is the date of translation of source code into object code. So I'm just gonna paste this one, and I'm just gonna change this one to date of translation of source code to object code is, and here we're just gonna refer date. All right, I'm just gonna build and run this. Now we get date of translation of source code to object code is January 23, 2014. And then next one we have is the time macro. So this time macro contains the time at which the program was compiled, and the time is represented in a string having the form hour, minute, and second. So I'm gonna paste it here, and I'm just gonna change this one to compile time, and here I'm just gonna refer time. So it should be underscore underscore time, and in caps, and then underscore underscore. I'm just gonna save this. I'm gonna build and run this. The compile time is 8:47 and 46. And then we have the macros such as the stdc, which is used to check whether our compiler will accept only the standard C or C++ code. So it's gonna return either true or false, or 0 or 1. So I'm just gonna say standard C++ code, and here I'm just gonna use that stdc. So it's gonna be underscore underscore, and then stdc, standard C or C++. I'm just gonna build and run this, and it returns 1, which means that our compiler will accept only the standard C or C++ code that does not contain any non-standard extensions. All right, the next one that I want you guys to teach you is about the C++, which is used to check whether our compiler is conforming to a standard C++ or not. If our compiler is conforming to the standard C++, then it's gonna contain a value of 6 digits, else it's gonna contain a value with 5 or less digits. So I just gonna paste it here, and I just gonna change this one to standard C++, conforming, and here I just gonna use C++. So here the usage of the C++ macro is different, so it should be underscore underscore then C++ in small letters. That's it. Then I just gonna save this. I just gonna build and run this, and we get 1 2 3 4 5 6 digits, and that's why you can say that our compiler is conforming to the standard C++. Alright, the next thing that I want you guys to teach you is about the line directive. So this line directive is used to change the value of this line and file. So this line identifier or this macro is going to contain the line number of the currently compiled line of code, and this file macro or the identifier is going to contain the name of the source file being compiled. So here we're going to use the preprocessor directive line to change the value of this line. To use this, first we need to write hash and then line in small letters, and then we need to write a line number, let's say 1000. Now if I copy this line and file macro here, after this one, because of this line preprocessor directive here, this line will be considered as the 1000th line, and we can change the file name also, that I'm gonna teach you next. So I'm just gonna save this, and I'm gonna build and run this. Now you guys can see current line is 1000. Because of this line macro, the value of this line is changed. Here the number that we pass must be a positive integer, and it becomes the new value of this line macro. Alright, the next thing is we can pass a file name here. For example, let's say anil.txt, or any file name. So now once we pass this line number and file name, this line macro is going to contain this line number, or this line will become the line number we specify here, and this file macro is going to contain the file name that we specify here. So I just gonna build and run this, and now you guys can see current file is anil.txt. So this line preprocessor directive is used to change the values of this line and files. Alright guys, this is about some predefined macro names and the preprocessor directive line. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.